everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a deep dive into recent earnings and the major news that are moving the market right now. We will cover 5 companies: Tesla with FSD Robotaxi ambitions, Intel, Ford, NextTracker, and Newmont. Then we will transition into 3 hot headlines. US market hit a one-year low. Analysts at JPMorgan Chase saying the Fed is nearing the end of its balance sheet reduction program. And we got the surprising pardon of CZ by Donald Trump. So let's jump that right in. So first we got the Tesla. So Tesla just reported its Q3 earnings yesterday. And I think it beat the top line, the revenue, but it missed bottom line EPS by a little bit. So I read this earning report. I think it's restructuring expenses that caused the Q3 EPS to miss expectations basically came from Dojo. So I think it totally makes sense because in the long term, Tesla bet against is a bit big on its full self-driving, and robotics is the big trend in the near future. And also in today, we got lots of analysts raise their price target for Tesla. So for example, Wedbush raised price target to 600, driven by optimism around the AI robotaxi and the Optimus human robot. So it's pretty seems like even though Tesla isn't doing a great job in Q3 earnings, but the Wall Street seems to still optimistic about the future of Tesla. So I also want to share a little bit news about Tesla, FSD, and Robotaxi. So on Q3 earnings report, Elon Musk on FSD version 14 said we will be adding reasoning in version 14.3. What it will do is it will drop you off at the entrance of the store and then go find a parking spot. It's going to use reasoning to solve things. Isn't it amazing? Yeah, I think it's pretty amazing. And they also had Elon predict that the company would be able to remove the safety monitor from its robotaxi by the end of this year. He also said Tesla would launch a robotaxi service in 8 to 10 new markets also before the end of 2025. So it's sounds very promising. Cool. Then we got Intel just released its recent earning reports. So in short, there's a double bit. So the EPS is based by which is very significant. It beats a lot, and revenue is beats the expectation by 4%. So you can see aftermarket it's up roughly 8%. So I have listed all these metrics on the right side and the left side. You guys can check this out. But overall, it seems like the Intel finally benefited from the AI trend, and the CEO do mention that the AI trend is a big driver of the Intel revenue. Okay, cool. Let's go to Ford. So Ford also has a double beats. EPS beats expectation by 25%. Revenue beats expectation by 7%. So after hours, it's kind of a roller coaster. I think the first down roughly 2 or 3%. I forgot that. But after that, it's up almost like 5%. So double beat looks great, but the guidance is not too great, mainly with 4 losses in adjusted EBITDA and FSF. Okay, cool. Then we got NextTracker. So overall, the earning report is all good. EPS came out with 1.19, which beats expectation by 18%, and the revenue is also good. So the market reacts, think it's a positive sign. So it's up roughly 10%. So for people to know what the NextTracker does, NextTracker is a global leader in a smart solar trackers foundation and a software solution enabling utility scale solar installations. So what's we're going to watch is like for NextTracker, the big themes are global solar build out, domestic manufacturing and the supply chain localization, and how policy like Inflation Reduction Act, tax credits play a role. Some key metrics we will need to watch is like installation backlog, margin trends, geographical diversification, and how cost pressure evolve. The company appear well positioned in decarbonization economy, but competition and input cost volatility are meaningful risks. Okay, then we got uh, Newmont. Newmont, for people who don't know what Newmont does, Newmont is a world leading gold producer and also mines copper, zinc, lead, and silver, with operation across several mining jurisdictions. So for Q3 2025, Newmont beat its earning expectation with EPS 1.71, and revenue came out with a slightly beat expectation. So what to look at for this company? So key driver for Newmont, like the gold price trends, safe haven demand, copper demand, regulatory, cost control, capital discipline. So investor will monitor production guidance, cost per ounce, dividend policy, and how Newmont navigate inflation and commodity cycles. Okay, cool. So we have finished all the earning reports part. Then we move on to some macro market headlines. So first we had the U.S. mortgage rates hits a one-year low. Mortgage rates in U.S. for 30-year fixed term have recently fallen to around 6.35%, the lowest level in nearly a year. So what's driving that? It's a combination of weaker economic data, bond market movement, and expectation of easier monetary policy. So what does that mean? So it means lower mortgage rates can stimulate housing demand, refinancing activity, and relate consumer spending. This also boosts to household financial flexibility, may help consumer confidence, and may have spill over into broader risk assets. On the flip side, this fall in rates also reflects market concern about growth and inflation, which also could suggest underlying economic softness. So, what to watch? We will need to watch to see whether home sales and refinance volume pick up, how housing inventory respond, and whether the housing momentum fits into consumer spending. Also keep an eye on whether rates moves spur risk asset flows or signal weakness in the economy. Okay, cool. Then we move on to another headline, which is Fed ends quantitative tightening or QT. So it's the strategists at JPMorgan and others expect the Fed to stop shrinking its 6.6 trillion balance sheet soon. So that means the era of QT may be ending, which could inject fresh liquidity into the markets. So what does that mean? So it means if the Fed halts or slow down QT, that equates to fewer reserves removed from the banking system, potentially more liquidity available for risk assets like equities, commodities, and crypto. For markets, this could be a positive catalyst. Easier financial conditions, higher valuation, and maybe renewed risk appetite. So what to watch? Market participants will watch Fed communication closely, banking reserve metrics, and how risk assets respond. Key risk of that is if the Fed signal inflation or growth concern instead of ease, liquidity might not flow as expected. Also monitor credit spreads and the effect on yield sensitive sectors. So the last headline, Trump pardoned Binance founder CZ. So what's happening? Former President Donald Trump has granted a full pardon to CZ Zhao, founder of the world's largest crypto exchange Binance, who had pled guilty to anti-money laundering violations. So this move is more than symbolic. It's a signal that U.S. regulatory policy toward crypto may be shifting, could also reinvigorate investor interest in digital assets, fintech, and crypto-related stocks. For Binance and the crypto ecosystem at large, this pardon removes a major overhang of regulatory uncertainty. On the other hand, critics warn this may raise concern about oversight, compliance, and regulatory credibility. So, what to watch? Keep an eye on crypto market reaction, any follow-on regulation changes, and whether Binance or other firms announce renewed US expansion. Also watch legacy financial services firm for how they respond to potential regulatory losing in the crypto space. Alright, that's a wrap for today. We cover 5 major companies' earnings report and the 3 key micro headlines that could move the market. If you found this useful, please hit the like button, subscribe for more earnings breakdowns and market updates, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future videos. Thank you for tuning in. See you next time.